This is CSA's The PreJump.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to CSA's podcast, The PreJump. It is episode 3. I am still Boss Rodella. Name hasn't changed. We're still in the same bat place, same bat time. I've got tonight Mr. Carr, Mr. Onyx on the desk. Let's start off. Onyx, introduce yourself a little bit. Why did you make the poor decision to wear a Steelers jersey?
Alrighty, so I'm Onyx. I'm the GM of the Pittsburgh Hornets, and I was under the impression Kitty, he would be here tonight. He's the GM of the Baltimore Black Cats. Me and him have a rivalry going on, as you know, Pittsburgh and Baltimore fans do. So that was my great decision to wear this tonight.
Terrible. We have a whole doctrine for casters about professionalism on the stream. I just can't believe it. Anywho, Carr, brother, I'm glad to have you on. First time for the podcast. How are you doing tonight, man?
Doing great. For those who don't know me, my name is Carr. I'm the GM for the Houston Nebula, first season GMing. Just excited to get it going, be a part of something as big as CSA.
For sure. And I mean, hey, we all know there's a lot of great opportunities coming up. CSA expanded its GM selection. We have 12 new ones in the lower tiers, which has been great. Gets their feet a little wet. Hopefully they can develop and eventually become Division 1 GMs. You know, that's the hopes, the dreams. But guys, they don't want to hear us talk about us all night. They want to hear us talk about them. CSA players definitely want to know who we're looking at, what we're going to be talking about. And I think there's no better first segment than kind of getting into the players really to watch.
Alrighty, so what tiers are we going to start with here? Are we going world class first, or are we going to start tier D and up?
I really don't mind as to what tier. We've got a lot of time. You know, if everybody, for those of you who've tuned in for the first time, we normally go for about hour and a half. So I'm gonna be honest, Onyx. Let's start small. Let's start small today. Let's start with the letter tiers.
Already, some tier A players I kind of want to point out to look for. I know we have Riven on the Richmond Raptors. That guy's blown my expectations away above and beyond for what an A tier player could be. From playing against him in scrims at least twice now, he is beyond, definitely higher than a Sal. Like, he is really skilled. There's a couple other players too, like Tipsy on Little Rock, Household Nug on Edmonton, and
Onyx, my
K-Cube
boy.
also on Richmond.
Onyx, my boy, slow your roll. I thought we were talking a little bit about those players in their ability to potentially drop down a tier. So last week we did talk a
I
little bit
got you.
about who's going to be kind of like our overperformers. I kind of want to talk a little bit about the players that might have a chance to come down a tier. Now, can you go ahead and explain to our fans here, like what it looks like, what that means when you say coming down a tier?
Alrighty, so according to the league rules, as of right now, the tier max, you can drop a player who I believe is plus 35 MMR or high plus 35 salary from that point. So from what we were looking at, from most of round 3, round 4, and all of round 5 Prodigy can drop down into A tier. And that same pattern falls for most of the other tiers below that.
Okay. Now, Carr, you've been in the league for a couple seasons, right?
This is my third season, yeah.
Sure. So, you've seen it though, right? Like players will occasionally drop down. Were there any of note that you remember for your tier last season, or any, I guess, that you can think of in your tier this season that might be coming down?
In my tier, well, actually, Buzz, I wanted to talk about a player I found in tier B. This is a player that played under me in a different league and did exceptionally well. I have super high respect for him, and he's actually going to be on the San Francisco Guardians under EXO. His name is Q Full. He's looking at 1332 Sal at the moment. The highest Sal going into tier C is going to be 1325, so he would be at the Sal, top of Sal for that. But Q Full is just one of those players. His offensive ability is absolutely impeccable. He's a super mechanical, super smart player. I think if anyone were to drop down and to play in a tier where they're at the top, that would be one of the guys that I would definitely have to keep my eyes on. Kind of look around, figure out a game plan when playing into him, and figure out what can I do to shut this guy down.
Well, and that's going to be such a huge change, right? Because you're talking up to 35 MMR greater than tier cap. You could theoretically have already been game planning, like, hey, I'm going to circle this person drafted first round of my tier. This is the person to be, this is the player I want to make sure I'm overperforming from. And now you've got somebody, hey, they're dropping down. They might be a whole step up, a whole like a whole notch that you're going to have to up your game to. I guess I wonder what could that look like? I mean, realistically, what's the difference between the top of B and this player? Like, do you believe this player dropping down is guaranteed to be first round quality, or do you think that they're going to be equitable or even greater?
Yeah, I mean, Cupel was, I want to say he was my second round pick going into that last league. For those who know Mossy Man ended up being my first round pick for there. And, you know, Cupel really, for me, just excelled expectations in the way that he played, the way that he performed every night coming out to play those games, or every Sunday night, I should say. I mean, dropping down a tier, the difference between tiers, I guess it really kind of depends on where exactly you're dropping. Up in those higher tiers, the difference between, let's say, expert and superstar, I mean, it's astronomical. You're talking 100 MMR difference just throughout the ranks alone. Coming down into the letter tiers, we're hanging around what about champion? I want to say, you know, difference between
I think
champ
that's about
two,
right.
champ. I
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
at
say
it's
it's
at peak
anywhere
like
from
low to mid GC1 all the way down to low champ 1, sometimes even diamond 3 in the lower C and D tiers.
okay. Yeah, in that case, I mean, difference between a player who consistently plays at champ 3 and a player that plays at champ 2, you know, I think the biggest factor in these lower tiers is going to be consistency. And I think Q-Fall is just one of those guys who can bring that consistency, not only with getting a touches on the ball and mechanics, but, you know, keeping the team alive. You know, he's got a great mental too, a great team player kind of guy.
I can even add on to Q-Full as well. He was actually my teammate on New York Empire Academy last season, and he is a huge part of the reason that we went 5-0 in play-ins. Without him on our back line, even keeping the team's mental in state, there's no way we could have done as well as we did. And also to fix one thing too, so it's the highest drafted salary per round plus 35. That is what tier max is going to be.
Interesting. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, we're talking like even going from Prodigy to tier A, right? So, Prodigy, I've noticed a lot of players in the C3, GC1 range. I have seen some high GC1 scrapers and potentially GC2s. But I mean, realistically, dropping from a GC1, C3 player quality down to an A tier player, you're still sitting about C3 from what I'm seeing. So realistically speaking, it's not that big of a jump. I could definitely see them being a higher performer. I just wonder about making the argument, especially the lower tiers, of saying like, "Hey, this person's going to drop down. They're about to kill the tier." Like, there's still some great level of competition that's going to be had. It's still going to be pretty comparable, at least from what I'm seeing. I definitely see what you're saying though for expert tier. I mean, dropping down from expert to is an expert to advanced, that would be a massive drop. I mean, you're talking a quality, a whole change in the level of play with how far apart they are.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of MMR of a difference. You know, the bottom of expert comparatively to the top of advanced. I mean, you have players who some players you didn't even expect to be drafted as soon as they were into expert. Looking at Mikey X as an example, Mikey ended up getting drafted a lot earlier into expert than a lot of us had anticipated. And I think dropping him down into advanced, it'd be a crazy game changer for whatever team he ends up going on to. Mikey is one of those players, but I guess I'm getting into another player now. But Mikey is one of those players who can take a team all the way. He proved it last season on San Antonio's professional team, coming out as the season MVP, and his stats across the board were absolutely insane. By far the best player in that tier. And it's players like those that can really make or break a team. You know, can they take their team and take them all the way to the end, or is it just going to crash and burn?
For sure. Well, a point of conversation though, right? So you are GM. You've got Car here, who's or not Car, sorry. You've got Onyx here. Gonna get you guys backwards. Totally, it's gonna be super helpful for us tonight. But Onyx, you've been dealing with team building. I heard you and Poke talking about it before. I mean, realistically speaking, there's a level of gamesmanship to be played, right? Like you're talking about potentially dropping a player who could help that tier, who could potentially qualify for that tier, into a new tier where they might dominate. So I mean, realistically speaking, what does that look like? What does that conversation sound like? And how apt are the players looking to want to drop down a tier like that?
So to kind of start out, like even looking at the tier A 4th and 5th round players, a lot of these guys are notable names, whether it be from RSC, one of our partner leagues, or just from CSA last season. A lot of these guys make a difference just by simply being on the field. And that difference in a Champ 3 to low GC lobby is noticeable there. So imagine that much of an impact on a couple ranks lower from a C2 to C1 lobby. I mean, like we're looking at it right now. The highest and lowest tier is within 100 MMR for A tier. B tier, it goes down to about 1358 as first round pick, and I would think 1398 is or 1408 is the highest sound player in tier B. So they're dropping down, but if they catch a team on the lower half of tier B, it's almost going to be a one-sided game. I'd call that right now.
I mean, I'd say so. I mean, it's a huge change, right? Uh, I don't know. I definitely have to see how it plays out. We're gonna have to mark some of these down. I definitely think some of the players we talk about today, we're definitely gonna need to write down and make sure we kind of focus on them going forward. So maybe in like 3-4 weeks we can come back and be like, hey, these are the guys we were talking about. How are they performing? What does it look like? So let me get a little notes page here. Actually, that's probably not bad. Let's see here. Cool. All right. Yeah. No, we're gonna have to come back to this for sure. Onyx, give me one player that you're looking at.
One player I'm looking at right now, I'm gonna say in tier. Let's pull it up real quick. Where is he at? What tier? These tiers maybe tier B. Find this guy. I played a 6-mans with him earlier and he was good. Voided for real. He's on a Rally Acorns, pick 7, round 1. He's a 1360 South. Definitely keep an eye out for him in his games.
Okay. Why did you select this player? What about their play style and their abilities makes you go, hey, this is who we want?
So from what I've seen him in 6-mans, he's really fast for a Sal, and he's efficient when he gets the ball. Now, mental, I can't speak for, but I know all other aspects when he's on the field. He's a threat to even mid to 1400 level players when he's out there. And he's in a tier playing mainly 1300 level players. So for sure, he's going to make an impact.
Okay. Fair enough. Car, rebuttals, thought processes. What you got, Mr. Quiet over there?
I don't know too much about the lower tiers, sadly. About the letter tiers. I know one of the biggest things though with those tiers, like I was saying earlier, is going to be that consistency. The consistency to be able to touch the ball the way you need to be able to clear the ball into a safe area for your team and whatnot. I think that if this player that Onyx is talking about can do those kinds of things and stay consistent, then yeah, I have no argument for him really.
For sure. I mean, I have to agree with Onyx. As a player who's in that ballpark, you see a vast change C2 to GC1. Just a lot of players who they might be able to make the initial touch, but they can't manipulate it in the way they want it to. They can't get it to the exact point. Their setup might be great, but they don't get the great first touch to follow, the light touch where they can get the second right after. So there is some growth to be had. And you see that when you go through GC1, you start seeing that level of verticality. I have to agree with you though. I mean, a player who already has consistency, who already knows, hey, this is the kind of touch I've made before, I need to make it again, is a dangerous person to play against in that tier. So it's hard for me not to agree. It's definitely hard for me not to agree here.
100%. If you don't mind, I would like to hop over to another player as well that I was seeing. He's going to be a player that's currently in advance, going to be on the Pittsburgh Hornets, actually, with Onyx. Well, not with Onyx, under Onyx. His name is Azdaha. Azaha, I ended up playing in ranked the other day with Tylands. He's my AGM, one of my advanced players. And this guy is insanely mechanical, insanely consistent, just great all around. I think a phenomenal player. Rob, we definitely need to get that salary checked out. But he also subbed up last week into expert to play with Kev and Goobs, and ended up playing against myself, Chicken, and Tylands. I had Tylands have to come and sub up as well, and he played amazingly. It was like you couldn't tell the difference. The difference between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. You look in the sky and the sun's still out. Um, a great player. I think this player can exceed a lot of expectations. It's crazy that he went 4th round. I think GMs just weren't looking hard enough, really, but definitely a hidden stone
No,
or a
yeah,
hidden gem.
I did my research for my advanced draft, and a lot of these guys, they didn't really play in this league before. And as especially one of those guys, I figured he was one of the newer players, so I did some research on his gameplay. And like you were saying, playing in those scrims, he also played up against Akron, and we even had their captain in my DMs saying how good of a job he did playing up in an 1800 level lobby as a 1690 4th round advanced pick. My teammates an expert, they were even saying about possibly pulling him up as a 3rd man and can put him in a contending with the other 2 on the roster. Like this guy, he definitely fell a lot farther than he should have, but I am so grateful to get him where I did.
Well, it happens often, right? You get players who are, I don't want to call them unknowns, but I want to say there's less like knowledge about them, right? Like realistically speaking, players who played here before, you don't have that unknowability, but players who, might be their first season in the league or first season in a league in general, because a lot of our guys are, RSC cross trained where they know a lot of RSC guys because they play over there. You get somebody who isn't really a known commodity in either. And they definitely fall. They definitely fall a lot further than you would expect unless they get snuck in because they played scrims by accident with a GM and now they're fully scouted. But I how often does that happen? I mean, realistically speaking, where you get this player who's just a true diamond in the rough, where you're like, oh my god, this guy does not belong here. He can play up. I need him now. How? I mean, realistically.
Yeah, I mean, not often at all. I'm trying to think of how many times that maybe has happened, and I don't know. That's a struggle. That's a hard one. It's super rare for sure.
You can count on a one hand. I mean, it's very unlikely that happens.
I know of 4 at most this season. And I mean, realistically speaking, for 4, what is it, 12 tiers in total, 8 tiers in the upper divisions, 4 in the lower. I mean, come on. If numbers is rocking that hard where they only get 4, where you're like, oh my God, this guy got snuck in, he shouldn't be here. That's a pretty good testament to CSA running on the number side of things. And I definitely have to give them a quick shout out because a lot of leagues that happens often where you've got somebody who's snuck in and oh yeah, don't go to combines, don't play, don't show up so that we can keep you under the radar. I don't feel like that happens that often with CSA.
Yeah,
no,
no,
our
not
numbers
at all.
guys are good. Like I've been on the back end of that a little bit, seeing how they kind of operate. And actually, I helped Rob out with early numbers prior to combines. And I got to say that how efficient they are at picking out where players belong, whether it be running an equation based off of their base games played and rank and adding a few other variables in, or just where they decide to place people based on where they were last season. There's so much that goes into it. There's no one set way. But it's definitely open to discussion for some players where they sit, and we're more than happy to accept DMs explaining why you are where you are. But the most important thing is that it's so tight knit that there's very little question why someone slipped through the gates.
For sure, for sure. Well, I've got a player I want to throw out into the board here. I was trying to keep this under on the low. Mr. Joe Exotic is actually that kind of player who probably shouldn't have fallen as far as he did. He fell to D tier. So, for perspective, right? So, I'm an RC guy, or at least I came from RC. I know a lot about RC. Seeing Joe Exotic, who is a Challenger Series player, um, and now he's in D tier. When you've got players who are in a tier up or a tier down, who are only 1 tier up in CSA, like there's 2 players in tier B that are below him in RSC. So like you saw, I think like match day 1, he averaged like 590 points in preseason. for match day 1. Like, brother, obviously we can't drop him any further. We don't want to, leave him where leave him where he's at. But this is the kind of guy you're going to want to watch for the rest of the season. He's going to cook. I promise you, he's going to be that guy that I've already penciled in. I'm like, dude, I will come follow back up with you. I'm going to bother you because you're in a tier you shouldn't belong in, and that kind of for me draws a lot of questions, right? Because we talked about um equitability between CSA, RC. We have a lot of crossover. I'm trying to figure out how that happens, how somebody can fall through the cracks that far.
Right. I mean, and a lot of it's just completely unexpected. Like these players, I want to say a lot of it's more players who aren't big, like ranked grinders, right? A lot of things whenever it comes to salaries, a lot of things when it comes to numbers is, hey, let's look at their tracker. Let's see how they've done in the last few seasons. Oh, you have this guy who doesn't play the game that often, has been around the same MR for a really long time. Let's just got him over here and see how this goes. And that's how you get under it. It just sneaks right under the radar. Nobody's able to really put you anywhere where you're supposed to go just because, they don't know you. They have no information to go base off of.
Yeah, and it's even crazier to me how just tight-knit each tier is. Like, looking at it numbers-wise, the back half of Prodigy and all of A to D tier was Academy last season. All of those players within that salary range fell in one tier. And seeing those guys just spread out as they are, you can see the diamonds in the rough just based on last season's performance alone. I mean, looking at tier C, we have Minja and we have Gage there. Two notable names that definitely performed over their sal last season. And there's probably even more within B tier and D tier that I'm missing too. But it's crazy to see how tight the sal ranges went per tier. And now we're really going to get to see who's better than where they are.
I love you saying Minja because I know him pretty well. I know he's in the background, like, no, don't talk about how good I'm doing. Let me fly under the
out
radar.
of
it. Oh God. Oh man, I love the guy. But that is the case as well, though, right? Like Minja and Gage were prospect tier, which is a tier below challenger in RSC. So they perform well in their tier. They perform well in Academy. I'm first off going to be incredulous to see how they perform in B tier, but I'm also terrified to see how Joe is going to perform in D tier. I guess to just make a quick summary of my concept here. But I can babble on and on about people I know. Car, Onyx, bail me out here. Give me somebody I don't.
Ooh. I have a guy on my team, and he's been practically underperforming right now. He's on my advanced team, and he's been having a rough one. But I swear this guy is better than what he's been doing.
Tragically underperforming is a wild
I
way
know.
to say
That's a great way to call it.
I know. He's a good he's a good buddy of mine. He's a really good buddy of mine. Him and I have been friends for the last year and a half, I want to say. So I think he'll be okay with me saying that on live. His name's Ascended though. Great player. You look at his tracker, his peak's going to be in threes, 1660 peak in threes. I mean, he's hit 1690. I don't think the tracker updated though, is what he told me. Great threes player though. Knows what he's doing. Super consistent. Has some burger moments, but who doesn't? And putting him with Highlands, I really thought that both of them playing, the three of us did LCQ together. I thought that both of them would do great together. It's been rough, but I swear, I think once he gets used to finding a team, having a team to where they can practice and figure things out together on, it'll be a completely different ball game. I think that he's definitely one of those guys that's going to be under radar for a long time. But I think definitely later season, I think it'll be okay. Maybe I'm just super coping as the GM, but I swear I could have sworn this guy was even higher than where I got him at.
Another player I want to point out as well is Onsi in Tier A. So a couple streams ago, Rob had brought this guy up around the time I got picked. Onsi is actually my CRL teammate. And he got drafted initially in round 3 to the Los Angeles Tigers. But I believe Gloomy is doing some sort of rebuild with his Tier A team, which allowed Poke to slide in there and get a tryout with us. And we're still waiting on the results of that. But it definitely leads in my favor to say I want my boy on our roster, and that's going to make a huge impact for Detroit.
That's wild. This could have been the second. This is going to be the second week that Pokes had like internal information just leaked. It's okay. It's okay, Poke. You're just being rolled under a bus.
He never said it was off the table tonight.
You don't play your hand, brother. You keep those cards close to chest.
And we'll be good. We'll be.
Oh God. I can't.
That's so funny.
That's so.
Oh, never in my life.
Shout out Poke. Love the guy.
Yeah.
I want to go back up to some higher tier opportunities here. So one of the things that's pretty incredible, right? We talk about the top two tiers. You've got your tier one, you've got your world class, your premier. You've only got 3 players on the roster. Obviously, this is not like a thought process that I would traditionally consider to draft a player in like premier and then consider swapping them out with your top end superstar. Has that happened before? And could you guys potentially see that happening this season? Or do you think it would be kind of wasteful?
I don't know if it's happened before, but I know a player that really wants to play up in Premier from Superstar. As far as dropping down, I think it definitely can be viable. I think it's dependent on the situation.
Sorry to jump in. I was gonna say the only realistic way I could see somebody being dropped down from Premier is like, let's say you've got 2 players who gel really well, one that really doesn't. Their play styles just don't mesh. Maybe they're not super friendly, whatever the case, who cares? And then they got a superstar player that they could swap out who the Kim would vibe way better. That's the only way I could think of that this might potentially occur.
Right. It's super tricky with those top tiers too. Figuring out rosters that like each other and enjoy each other, and figuring out rosters who play well together. It's super important that you have quote unquote friends up there, but also you're able to play well together. But I mean, from Superstar to Premier, I mean that's another huge difference in gameplay.
And I mean that on that note too, like my round 1 pick in Superstar, I was actually thinking about taking in pick 3 for Premier. And my AGM that's playing for me, Corrupt in Superstar, also was formerly, I believe, in Premier. And I know those two could definitely be interchangeable if they needed to go up. But I got to shout out also my Superstar roster with MK, Corrupt, Para, and Baba. I mean, they're making it near impossible for me to choose who's getting dropped. Like, they are all 4 excellent players. And I know whoever gets who goes is definitely going to have a star in their roster.
Oh my God, this guy's going to shout out his team. Terrible.
Hell yeah.
Awful. Bum GM. Terrible. Oh God. No, as much as I give people a hard time, it's hard not to shout out your teams, right? Like, it's hard when these are the guys you've built a team with. I get it. But everybody does it. Come on, man. Talk trash. Just circle back. Be like, man, this guy we picked up terrible. Don't pick him. I'm kidding.
Dang, I gotta look at my rosters, man.
Throw some shade out.
He's got like, which one can I talk trash about before I cut real quick?
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, this makes it a lot harder.
I'm kidding.
There's there we go. Wait.
So tomorrow, just to kind of pull off of the who to watch topic since we've been going at it for a hot minute. Tomorrow, right? Preseason match day 2. What should a lot of people expect? What should they see at least for roster finalizations? Should they expect it to be almost guaranteed right after? Does it take a couple days to trim down the herd? What's the thought process here?
So I don't know how other GMs are doing it. For me, I have an AGM in World Class. He doesn't have to worry about it. And I have an AGM in Advanced. Advanced is all up to Tylens, whatever he wants to do. For Superstar being the only tier I really have to worry about, seeing as I've already made 2 cuts and Expert, and I'm down a player even. I feel like it'll probably take a couple days after Sunday. Cuts are going to be due on Wednesday at midnight or 11:59 p.m. EST. Talk to your GM. I think that's the best advice I can give you. Talk to your GM. Everybody, as far as I know, is super transparent and whatnot, and just kind of figure out where things are going from there. I would say most roster cuts are probably happening after matches Sunday or Monday morning.
Thing I can say too, also to look out for when it comes to the preseason games, is players who aren't actually signed to a roster right now. Some of those players who were cut or released, some free agents and some waiver players, they might be making their move on a few teams here coming this Sunday to get a tryout with that official roster to see how that even moves into preseason too, just to change things up a little bit.
It's very fair. I mean, how many players, go to try them out, you go to play some preseason games, things don't work out, you don't mesh super well, so you're like, okay, well, you know what, we're going to go ahead and part ways. There's a lot of opportunities, right, for those free agents to possibly work their way onto a roster. I would definitely say, if you're a free agent, if you're a player who's not currently signed to a team, if you're really trying to get into CSA and trying to work your way through, put yourself out there. For the love of God, don't just like hide in the shadows. Show up for six mans, show up for six mans, do something, get involved, be a part of it. You get your name out there. It's much easier to get picked up when you're a player who's a known commodity than somebody who's just a name on a sheet.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, the pool is growing. The pool is ever growing. I like Boz was saying. I mean, knowing somebody's name, me personally being a first-time GM, I don't know a lot of people's names. It makes it really difficult for me to figure out who I want to pick up. A lot of times I'm having to ask other GMs or even ask my players about it. But if make yourself known, it makes it easier on us. It makes it easier on you, and you're way more likely to get on a team and get everything sorted out and have a great season.
Yeah, and speaking on behalf of GMs too, like it helps us so much when we know you exist. Because at the last minute, if we have to pull an emergency sub, or if we just want to find someone to fill in for the week, if we know you're out there, we're going to reach out to you. So it's just a matter of you letting us know you exist, and we will happily find you a spot when and if we can.
For sure. Well, fellas, it's only been 36 minutes. What's the yap session about now? Where are we going? Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys kind of free reign here. Let's see it.
Dang. Really
put them on the spot.
Yeah.
Put us on the spot and we're frozen. Just straight freezing, aren't we? I mean,
that's all right. What's the worst that could happen? Poke, stop clicking, please.
Poke in the background's like the cat with the keyboard just pressing away.
What is it, like a cat playing chopsticks with chopsticks on the keyboard or on the piano?
Yeah, so we got to find that GIF and post it later. Nah, Poke's doing a great job running a production, though. We give him a huge shout out there for that.
God.
Yeah. Man, it's really, I'm struggling here to think about things CSA related to talk about. I feel like so much has been happening and so much has already been discussed and talked about, and makes it hard to stay on topic.
Yeah, I got something though.
I'll give you subject material. Oh, okay. All right. What you got?
What I was reading earlier. So no players can be dropped from any tier unless they're cut and then re-signed on waiver until after Major 1. So we have a good couple of weeks with the rosters being stable as they are until we start seeing a lot of those shifting movements for teams trying to make a first and or last ditch effort to save their season.
Well, so the waiver or the cutoff time for that is going to be Wednesday nights, Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. EST. Once you cut somebody thin, it'll refresh on Thursday or on Friday. If you cut them on Thursday, it won't refresh. So you can still drop a player. You cut them Wednesday. Pray to God that nobody's looking at waivers all the way until Friday. Friday, waivers reset. You can grab somebody then. But yeah, waivers clear every Friday. I don't know what time.
I think it's 11:59. I could be wrong.
Is it? So realistically, Saturday you'll be picking them up. So you can still do the drop, but there's some risk to it. They hate everybody, so they're making it hard for us.
So, bit of a side note here, a bit of a thought process. So, let's say you've got a player. Player does not like his team. Players like, hey, look, I don't want to be here. I don't want to play for this team. I don't want to play for this franchise. Get me out of here. Realistically, what does it look like as a conversation for you, right? Like what is your thought process behind it? And then what is the protections for the GM or the players?
So I already had a player do this kind of thing. I had two players that were really bashing heads. They couldn't get along whatsoever. One of them reached out to me after the preseason match and said, "Hey, just cut me." And the way I responded to it, I told him, "Hey, here's what I can do for you. Either you can stay, play with these two other players, and we can get rid of that one, or I can cut you. I can leave you a good cut note and let GMs know, like, hey, this guy's a good guy, great skill, great person, and, do what you will with him." And eventually he decided he wanted to be cut. Now, it does mean that he's stuck on waivers until I don't know when waivers reset for this preseason. Is it post all the cuts or
You're the GM, brother.
on a casino?
So, to my knowledge, I want to take a swing and say possibly next Friday all the waivers clear, but
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to double check with staff in the background to see when things actually go. But I also had a couple players do that too. Like a couple of my rosters, I've had guys drop. I actually had a guy retire like 2 days after the draft without he said it's like, "Hey, I got to go. I can't do this," and just kind of left. So that leaves GMs with a good protection of getting an emergency pickup. So you good back there, Car?
Is Car okay?
I think a lizard
Car?
may have escaped enclosure. But as I was saying, GMs have a protection when a player leaves without being cut, like just retires out of the league. They get something called an emergency pickup, which automatically puts their team to the top of the waiver line, regardless of where they were in draft position. Otherwise, if the player gets cut and then retires, the GM would have to wait through standard waiver line.
Fair. And I'm going to be honest, like, if you're a player, right, and you're like, man, this team's not working out, I don't like who I'm playing with. First off, ask yourself some internal questions. Do you not like your team because you're like, man, this team isn't rotating super well? Is it the tier you're supposed to be in? If so, maybe give them some slack here. Everybody's got some things to work on. Everybody's got some things to develop. But number two, don't bail. Don't pull a Le'Veon Bell. Don't say like, "Oh, I'm not playing unless you get me out of here. I'm not, I'm not doing anything." There's nothing more detrimental than ruining your reputation in the league early on. If you go in and you say, "Hey, I'm going to be, I'm going to get what I want," darn the GMs, sucks to be them. Your name's going to get circulated out there. You want to take care of yourself and the league, so you kind of don't want to put yourself in a spot where 3 seasons down the line you're unable to be picked up because nobody wants you on their franchise. There's good ways to handle it. I'm just saying, be smart about it. Just don't be dumb.
Yeah, 100%. And GMs, they do take those cut notes into fruition a lot of times when they make decisions. I know personally, I look at those whenever I'm trying to make decisions about players, whether I sign them or I drop them or I trade them or send them somewhere else. It all depends on what their reputation is how other teams may want them. Like, say you draft a player with a poor reputation and you're looking to trade him because he doesn't want to be on your team. If another GM knows that you have a poor reputation, it's not very likely they're going to want to take you on that roster, and you're just going to end up sitting as a free agent. And we don't want that for anybody here, because as GMs, we want to help you guys out. We want to see you guys succeed, and we want to send you where you want to go as long as it works out for both parties. And we will do whatever it takes most times to make that happen. I know I would, at least for my franchise. I can't speak for others personally, but I know at least that's what I would do.
Yeah, you seem like a lot nicer
Carl,
guy than
welcome
the
back to the
others.
chat, brother. Seems like you had a little bit of some fun.
Yeah. I've got 2 mice, and one of them got on top of his tank, and then I tried like using a cup to get him in the cup, and he just refused to go in the cup. And I found him not yesterday, but the day before that, it just like sitting underneath the couch. It was pretty great.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I had issues with the other one getting out all the time, and now this one gets out, and it's just like it's never ending with those two.
Keep you on your toes.
No, they really do.
As they should. As they should.
I guess little mice, man, really stressing me out.
To kind of bring you back up to speed, we're talking about, like, I guess how to handle as a player, how to handle not wanting to play for a team, right? Like, it happens every season. No, not every player is like, oh my god, I'm so happy to be here. I mean, let's be real. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I get it. A lot of people want to play with their friends. They want to go to a franchise where they know, oh, X person's there. I want to go there. GMs will work with you, like Onyx said. If they can make it happen, they'll make it happen. Don't end up being a poach. Don't end up being somebody who, oh, I talked to the other GM and they said it's okay. Oh, really? Did you now? Like, which GM was it? Please enlighten me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have a no poaching. I don't know if it's a written rule or an unwritten rule, but
It's a written.
Is it
rule, I'm
written?
pretty
Yeah,
sure.
It's
don't-
written. It's definitely written.
Yeah, don't get anyone in trouble, please.
So correct me if I'm wrong. This is the wording
Oh.
of the rule. So GMs cannot talk to active players who are signed to another team, but players on that signed team can talk to other signed or unsigned players within that team.
Correct, because traditionally non-elevated role players do not have the functional ability to alter rosters. Now that person can go to their GM and say, "Hey, I want to play with this person. Can you go get them?" It's not an inherent yes, it's going to happen. There are negotiations that now need to occur, and that GM can take it under consideration. If they're like, "Hey, look, I know you want to play with your buddy, but your buddy's trash. Like, I don't want him on my team." Like, like there's a conversation that needs to be had there, and it is one that will traditionally be had by a good GM. They're going to ask questions and they're going to talk about the player, but it's not guaranteed. But if you are like the GM, obviously difference of poaching, it's like those commercials about like company training. First one is you talk to a player and you're just having a great time playing ranked. Second option, you openly ask the player if they'd like to like quit their team so you can pick them up off waivers. Like there's a differentiation, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, we had a situation like that back in season 2, and it really screwed over one of the teams that I was rostered on. And it's just, it's always a rough feeling when something like that happens.
It just leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, and that obviously will end up on a cut note too.
Oh yeah, I don't know if players even know that we leave cut notes.
They do now.
Or anything like that. Yeah,
They
no.
definitely
If
do
anyone,
now.
yeah, everyone that gets cut, all the GMs talk about it. All the GMs know exactly why you got cut, and your good traits, your bad traits, whichever impression you may end up leaving on that GM. So be nice, be kind to the world, as Rob likes to say.
Yep.
Well, and it's not just a CSA thing, right? Like for any draft league, any respectable draft league will traditionally have communication between GMs. Now, whether they label it as cut notes or something else, it occurs. I mean, I know in RSC for sure there are cut notes. There's a definitive, here is a channel that we can go, hey, I cut X player because of X reason. Would I sign them again? Yay, nay, who cares? Same thing for CSA. I'm sure you guys have communication where it's like you can go through and I want to look at this player that this guy wants me to pick up, and cut for saying
Very
things
bad
that need,
words.
like saying horrific things towards other people or bullying or whatever. Like probably not. Like probably not. I'm not going to pick up somebody who might be toxic in my franchise.
Yeah, of course, and especially for like the players that this is your first season, we don't know you, or a lot of GMs don't know you. It's like that first impression means so much to GMs as a whole. It shows us, the initial version of you according to somebody else and what they've observed or what others on their roster has observed. But I mean, yeah, man, I love reading through the cut notes. It's so interesting. It's so funny sometimes. There's a lot of good, but the bad things, just like what are we doing?
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like a lot of players they fall into that category, right? Where it's not like, oh, they're cut. They're either cut because of super innocuous things like, oh, doesn't fit cap space, or oh, doesn't gel on the pitch. Cool dude, would love to have him, just can't fit him on the roster. Or it's like someone was really dumb. And I'm gonna be honest. I keep saying the phrase, "Don't be dumb." Like, we're here to play a game. We're not here to talk. Like, you could talk some trash, especially with your friends. Like, there's a level of what you can do. But like, just maybe don't be like really dumb. I don't know. Don't post.
There's a
stupid
quote I
things.
love with that. It's stupidity is a spectrum. And you'll have players who fall on the light end of it, and you'll have players who fall on the far steep end of it. You got to try and tread lightly when it comes to that stuff, because as GMs, we will know and we will find out. And it's for your own sake that you just be a good person. At the end of the day, that's kind of what we look for when we make roster changes. When we want to pick up people or trade for people, if someone's mean and a bully and they're going to just ego our roster, we're not going to want that for the mental on our team. Mental is half the battle when it comes to playing games anyway. If you have someone who's going to tank that if they go down by 2 goals in game 1, what's the point of even trying to come back to win? You're just not going to have it.
I don't know. I feel like I'd love that guy. I feel like in every movie or like anime, whenever someone's angry, they just like overseed. Is that a word?
Oversees expectations.
Yeah, oversees expectations. So I don't know, man. Maybe this is a strat that we're all not looking at very well.
Adrenaline and ego are 2 different things.
I don't know, man. There's a vast difference between a player who hits the pitch and they're like, man, I don't like that I haven't hit a goal this game. I'm going to do everything in my power to make it happen. That's not detrimental versus, oh, we got scored on, game's toast. We're not coming back from this one. God, let me punch my ticket.
Hey, go next. Like 350 on the clock.
Dude, I've seen that. I've seen like players literally, they'll get scored on, they'll give up a goal or 2, and then they're just like, actually, we can't win this. Even though there's 4 minutes of Rocket League left. Nope. We're toast. Done.
Impossible. Never to happen before.
It's like, dude, what do you mean? There's so much time.
And especially in like the lower tiers as well, with just how, I mean, any tier really, with just how tight it is. Those lobbies are so unpredictable. You can go from being down 4 goals to coming back and winning by 2 within 2 minutes left in one of those games. I've done it myself. It is so crazy just how little minuscule decisions in that play such a big role in the randomness of that. Because in those tiers, a lot of it isn't predictable. So a lot of random things will happen and a lot of random goals will come from it.
Well, and mentality is a huge deal, right? Like if you go down by 2 and your team's going, we'll get it back. We'll go get one. Let's go get one. And it's like, let's go work back on it. Those are the guys that I'm like, dude, we have to get him on the roster. Like that's the kind of guy where he's a dog. It doesn't matter if he's down by 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to go out and he's going to bust it out for the last 3, 4 minutes, and he's going to do everything that's possible. It might be an extra bump, might be an extra demo, it might be an extra play. He's going to do what he can to win the game. And those are the kind of guys that you really have to put it down for, because like you said, mental is at least half the game. You could be the most incredible mech player. You can have the best bag that you can reach into and say, oh, I'm going to use this move. But if you don't like think you can do it, you're probably not going to do it in reality.
And when you speak it, your teammates won't either. Keeping a positive mental is going to rally your teammates around you. I mean, there's a lot of times last season, because I played for a couple different teams with a lot of different people. There were a lot of times where, it was either me or somebody else in the roster trying to keep everybody's hopes up, trying to keep us in the game saying, hey, this isn't over. We have 5 games in this series in total. We're only down 1 or 2. We can still come back and win this.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I think my experience at Negative Nancy is always fun to just poke at. I love just like
Car, I could
already mad, man.
Poke the bear with a stick. Yes, great idea, Car.
Oh, you look like you're having a terrible night. Let me just grab a stick real quick.
All right, like why are you so angry? Let's calm it down a bit, man. Go get some water.
It's like, hey, I know you lost in a sweep at least by 7 goals a game, and I know you're really angry, but you're not on this team anymore.
That would be a
yeah.
wild no, but I get where Carr's coming from. You got that guy on your teammate who's just oh, I can't believe he gave up a goal. Man, we have bad rotations. So where were you then, brother? Why didn't you grab
Yeah.
boost and get back on back post? What are you doing?
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me at all why people get so upset. Like I've had my tilted moments, of course, but it's like as upset as some other people get. It's just like what? Why?
And
I
the
don't
other thing
get it,
too,
man.
It's all good. It's all good.
I know some players in lower tiers will do this. I used to have a problem doing this as well. And it's saying like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. That's going to get in your teammates' heads because then they're going to think, well, what would have happened if you did this? You just say,
No,
my bad.
hold
I
on.
should have done better. Move on to the
Hey,
next play and be better.
Hold
I don't
on.
know. I don't know if
say
I
that
agree
all
with
the
this
time.
one.
We end a game, we lose. I'm like, dang, I should have been good. All the time.
Like,
Like all the time.
I know. I guess it depends on who you're teamed with.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think I've ever encountered that before. I feel like it's always more of a, oh man, if I hit that shot, we would have been fine. And then I don't know, maybe I just had good teams because I normally hear it's all good, no worries, or something like that.
I
Yeah.
think if somebody's saying like I should have done X differently, I think that's okay. I think if I get done with the game, I'm like, dang, Carr, you really should have picked up some more small pads there. Like, I don't understand why you're always rotating super far back. Like, it's in team coaching. I cannot stress this as much as humanly possible. Is a terrible decision every time.
Yeah.
Especially right after the match. If you're doing it right after the match and you're like, oh, I can't believe we lost, the series is over. Let's go ahead and sit down and let me tell you about what you did wrong. Like, dude, like,
Wait a
talk about
while.
breaking your team's chemistry real quick.
Yeah. Get an outside
Yeah,
party to do
please.
replay review, look at ball chasing, look at numbers.
Exactly.
A lot of those stats on ball chasing will tell you the story of how that match was played, regardless of what decisions were made out there. You can see average amount holding like certain numbers of boost. You can see positioning, power slide count, shots, saves. You can see all of that in groups on there. And
Man, I
just
hate
seeing
looking at
those
ball
numbers and
chasing.
statistics, if you learn how to read it properly, you can see where you need to improve just off that alone.
Onyx, you hit the nail on the head, kind of where I was going with this. What does it look like? How, if you're a player, let's say you're in a franchise, you're in Prodigy, right? And you're like, man, we had a rough preseason match day 2. I want to get a coach in. I want to, like, who do you talk to?
There is a special segment in CSA called Ask Coach, where a lot of the higher level players will come in and help you out with replays. But in some of the teams as well, you can talk to your GM and they can see if even a higher level player that they know, or even someone on a higher level roster within that org would help you out. Now, I don't recommend going and just DMing everybody who's on a higher tier than you saying, hey, can you help me out? Like, talk to your GM and see if they can advise you somebody to go to.
Everyone just DM Carr. just
Everybody DM Carr.
Whoa.
League certified coach right here, guys. He's got you.
Whoa.
No,
I was
but
gonna say like straight to your world class round 1 pick. That's your guy. That's your guy.
yeah,
Always
that
go to that
player is
guy.
super.
They will
interested
not
in
answer.
coaching that player. No, but you hit a nail. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, there's a channel in CSA specifically for that, right? Where it's like, hey, you can reach out via this channel to find coaches to elevate your game. I always recommend players go to your GM. I promise you, your GM probably has someone in their franchise that they've already talked to, and they've been like, "Hey, I just picked you up an expert. Would you be interested in coaching at all for a franchise?" These are conversations that get had, and they're not always posted out and about. But your GM is going to give you a coach that, quite frankly, is in their best interest to make you play better. Because you're in the same franchise, there's a chance that if you're not too far away, they might be playing with you on the same team in a couple seasons. You know, I mean, I'm not going to get to expert. Let's be real about it. But like, if I've got a coach who's in, who might be in advanced, like maybe he gets washed. It happens. Comes down a tier. I go up a tier 2. Like, there's a chance that we could play in the same. There's no reason for them to lie to you. Just take it with a grain of salt. Take it with the understanding of this player is going to give me a new insight.
Yeah, and the other thing too, like a lot of these GMs, they'll have in-team coaches. Like, I know I have at least 2 on my roster. I know Poke has a couple as well, kind of just volunteered to do it. And I know several other orgs do as well. And even the staff within CSA, coach. Like, I know whenever I started out last season as a player, Rob and a few others were huge in helping me become a better player. Not only did it fix my mental, but it shows GMs and other players that you have passion for wanting to get better. And you're not going to be complacent with mediocrity. And that is a huge thing within this league.
Rob reached out to you about coaching?
Yeah, he coached me.
I feel so offended right now.
I don't know if I want Rob coaching me. Rob called me the Unk of Rocket League.
Dang.
Dang,
yeah,
okay.
I know, terrible. I got flamed.
That's
and I was
crazy.
like, you know what? Probably never again.
Yeah, no, that's. I don't know if I'd be able to forgive him for that.
Well, I do play like Unk. I mean, I've been playing since paid season 1, so yeah.
Whoa!
I've
Wow.
been playing Rocket League a little long.
I've been on paid season 6, I think. I just call it old Rocket League.
I think my first rank was Challenger, if I remember right. I think I was.
I didn't even get to play Jet in that, man. My first rank was Plat, Gold,
God.
Plat, something like that. But I didn't get to see the old ranks. I wish I could have.
Oh yeah.
All-Star, Superstar, Rising Star, all
the
that.
Prospect, yeah.
Back in the day, back when Kronovi was the guy.
I remember back then.
Did you end up watching the first RLCS tournament?
Oh yeah, dude. They still had camera shake on for some of their players. Like I look back on it, I'm like, oh God, no, please.
Like I'd
What
even
is
be
one,
stretched
dude?
to say it's like Plat 2 of today's Rocket League was RLCS.
Whoa, relax. They're at least.
I'm kidding. It's more. It's at least like Diamond. It's at least.
I
Like
was gonna say it's
Diamond.
like Diamond 1, Diamond 2. Relax,
Yeah.
Platinum. Calling.
I don't know. It's crazy looking back all the time. Or even if you look back at like yourself from when you first started playing the game, or even like midway through and like until
Let's
now,
not do that.
it's insane. No,
Let's
no.
not do that.
Let's not.
My
do
bad.
That. My club.
on me.
Someone should
me.
air
My
some
bad.
old clips of him here.
Don't. Oh God, I'm gonna have to go unlist my whole YouTube channel now.
But bad comms.
Anywho, though, guys, if you don't have anything else that you want to talk about, I think this is probably a good real pausing point, good real stopping point before we come back for episode 4 next Saturday. Car, Onyx, anything you guys want to chime in with before we kind of wrap things up here?
I'm good. I think this was good. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, GMs, I need y'all to cut y'all superstar players, please. I think that's about all I got. Dude, I'm in such a desperate place right now. I have 2 players on my expert roster, dude. It's so bad. it's so bad.
He'll get you a Domino's gift card if you help him.
Domino's gift card is wild. Anywho, this has been Boss Rodella, episode 3 of the PreJump podcast. We will be back at it again live next Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. Outside of that, this has been Car. This has been Onyx. We will catch you all same bad time, same bad channel. Y'all have a good night.